Hello YouTube world, Jordan here with another Google Apps Scripting video. This time, however, I'm going to combine it with some JavaScript in the browser in order to kind of experiment with some of the dev tools functionality that you can use. Well, I found this website that's got a bunch of tables, each with some English, Chinese language translations, with the Chinese, the English, and the pinyin writing for the word. Now, the headings of the tables are kind of, well, they're not aligned properly. And I want to actually move this over into a spreadsheet where I've kind of been tracking some of my Chinese language learning. And I want to put these expressions in there, but I don't want to copy and paste them all. Now, I think there's only 30 some of these. Might be easier to just copy and paste than write code, but that would destroy the whole purpose of this video. So the first thing I'm going to do, open up the dev tools. On Windows, it's easy to just hit Control-Shift-J, and that'll get you right into dev tools and right into your console, actually. Now I'm going to just go ahead and clear that console out. I don't need any of this stuff. This is all either notifications coming from the website itself or from browser extensions that I have. I don't know what this is. Doesn't really matter. We're actually looking for the Sources tab, and this shows well, a bunch of stuff, really. You can make use of a lot of things. This is really for developers to test web applications that they're using, or you can actually get in there and look at the cookies and whatnot, what is all being saved by the website into your browser. In this case, don't need that either. What we're going to look for in this left column is the snippets. And I'm going to create a new snippet, and I'm going to call it get we'll call it getExpressions.js. And it's the only snippet that it's the only thing I'm going to use here. We can test this out by just doing a console log. And if you hit Control-Enter, that'll run your code right there. Now, these panels here below your code, these are for testing. You can actually set breakpoints in your code and kind of track where variables are. We're not going to need that for this video. I'm going to hide the debugger and then move this up so we have a little more room to work with. So you can see that hello YouTube world, easy peasy. Well, what we want to actually do is grab all the table rows from the page and then get the values out of those table rows. First thing I'm going to do is just declare a function getRows and then call that function right away. So I'm going to grab all of the tr elements, and then let's just count how many of those there are. Now, one other thing you can do, actually, in order to figure out which elements you're looking for, on the Elements tab, let's go ahead and make this a little bit larger. You can highlight the little arrow in the upper left-hand corner or hit Control-Shift and C. And this allows you to point at places on the page and then see exactly what they are. So in this case, I want the actual table and then the table rows. You can actually look at the elements kind of unfolding on the right-hand side of the screen as I highlight them. Okay, so I know I'm looking for the table rows, the TR elements, and then I want to get the TD elements out of those. So I can see I've got 41 table rows. Well, that's not exactly true because there's all these header rows in there. I don't need them. So I'm going to try to filter those out and then grab the table values. Okay, so I wrote some JavaScript here to take all those rows. We're going to filter out any one that has English in the inner text, or if it was undefined, there were a couple of rows that were showing up as undefined. That must just be some error in the HTML on this page. I don't know, but I just wanted to filter those out. And then I'm mapping all of those rows into an object with Chinese, English, and Pinyin. And here you can see what that results in. Perfect. So I've got all these cool objects, but how can I get those over into my spreadsheet and so we can work with them with Google Apps Script? Well, I can just wrap get rows, and I will clear all this out. Get rows, I'm going to just put copy around that and then run it again. And now that I'm over in my editor in Sheets, I can save this as a variable here, and I will call it all expressions, and I'm going to Control V, paste that. And actually, I think one thing that might be better would be to save this in its own file. You can see how all of that worked. Now we can just simply loop over all these expressions and kind of append them to the spreadsheet. I'm going to do it in a super brief, super simple way. So I wrote a simple little for each that's just going to append each row right into the spreadsheet. Let's go ahead and run that. And you can actually see the work right here. Let's see if I can make this a little bit bigger. Sheets does not like, I can go to 150%. Perfect. So I've got my English, Chinese, and Pinyin columns all in the right place, ready to help me study, make some flashcards, do what I do. So it's not the prettiest code. All of that code can be cleaned up, and you can find it in the description below. But I hope it gives you an idea as to how you can use DevTools to make some of those tasks that you have to do that much simpler. Of course, this requires that you have a pretty good understanding of JavaScript. Otherwise, it'll just take you too long to develop the snippets, but that's not a problem whatsoever, because what else are we here for if not to learn? So cheers, everybody. I hope that helps. I hope that gives you some great ideas, and I will talk to you next time.